Good morning, children. How many days have passed after we have met? I'm not asking you, are you fine? Because I know very well that you miss your school, your friends, your teachers. Then how can you be fine? But we have to follow all the safety measures taken by the government. It is for our good only. Children, my 7th standard, that means you, and present 8th standard, always used to ask me, "Ma'am, shall we go to the ground?" Then I used to say, "No." Principal ma'am would scold me if he sees me every time in the ground. Then you would say, "No ma'am, for learning only, not for playing that we are going to the ground." Yes children, today just imagine that we are sitting under a tree. I am there with you. Please don't think that you are sitting in a virtual classroom. Your teacher is away from you. Your teacher, not only me, all the teachers are near you. So these online classes has been arranged for you not to put you in a difficult situation, but just to take you out of that. So surely children, you must enjoy this. You can enjoy these online classes and you have to make use of it at the maximum. Your support, children, your teachers are suffering a lot to make these classes available to you. So your support definitely should be there with us. Your dear parents, you also should support us in this endeavor. So children, shall we move on to the class today? So before moving on to the lesson, I'll just introduce the textbook to you. 2 textbooks are there for you prescribed by NCERT. One is Honeydew, the main textbook, and the other one is the supplementary reader. We all love to give or receive presents from our dear ones. I think more than giving, we would like to have it. The value of a present does not depend on its price, but it depends on the person who gives it. The first lesson we are going to learn is the best Christmas present in the world, written by Michael Morpurgo. The best Christmas present in the world by Michael Morpurgo. See, we don't know what is the present, who has given it, who has received it, why it has become the best. To know all these things, we have to go to the lesson. Okay, children. So with much pleasure, I am inviting you to the lesson, the best Christmas present in the world. The author, that is Michael Morpurgo, he himself is the narrator. He himself is saying the story. So I'll read in between the lines, not the whole thing. If I read the whole thing, you'll be getting bored. And my request to your parents is, you have to download the textbook. Textbooks are available in CBSE website, or it can be downloaded through Diksha app. So please do it for the children so that they can make use of the textbook also. The author in this lesson, Michael, was looking for a roll-top desk. A roll-top desk. That means a desk with a sliding lid. For many years. He could not buy one because it was very expensive. He could not afford the price of it. So at last, he has found one in a junk shop. The shops where old and cheap things are sold. At last he has found a roll-top desk in a junk shop. So he is going to buy it. So children, again when I say I, then you should think that it is the author Michael. Every time I will not say the author, but I will say I only. I means the author. Who is the narrator? I spotted it in a junk shop in Bridport, bought a roll top desk. The man, who is the shopkeeper, said it was early 19th century and oak, made of oak. I had wanted one, but they were far too expensive. This one was in a bad condition. This was not new and it was not in a good condition also. But it was the roll top in several pieces. One leg clumsily mended, scotch marks all down one side. It was going for very little money, but he could buy it for a cheap price because it was not at all in a good condition. I thought I could restore it. Okay, I would buy it and then I can repair it. It should be a risk because I don't know whether it should be possible. So, but anyway, I was ready to take the risk. A challenge. But I had to have it. But anyway, I decided to have it. I paid the man and brought it back to my workroom at the back of my garage. I began work on it on Christmas Eve. I removed the roll top completely and pulled out the drawers. The veneer, a thin layer of plastic coating was there. So first, the veneer had lifted almost everywhere. It looked like water damaged me. So in short, the roll top desk was almost damaged. Both fire, so it seemed that both fire and water had clearly taken their toll on their desk. So both water, sometimes this roll top desk must have been put outside for many months or years. So water and both fire and water have clearly taken their toll on the desk, means that clearly damaged the desk. The last drawer, so 2 or 3 drawers were there. The last drawer, he took all, both the drawers out. The last drawer was stuck fast because it was not open. It had not been opened for many years. So it was stuck fast. It was difficult to pull out. So I tried with much force. I tried all I could to ease it out gently. In the end, I used brute force and the drawer flew open to reveal a shallow space. I reached in because I could feel something there. I reached in and took out a small tin box. Sellotape. To the top of it was a piece of lined note paper. So a small tin box there. I could find a small tin box there. Sellotape. So carefully sealed. And something, a note was there on the top of it. So I was curious to know what it is. And something was a lined note paper and written on it in shaky handwriting. Something was written on that paper in shaky handwriting. Why this shaky handwriting? Sometimes an old man or woman must have written it, or a person who is very excited, who was very tense might have written it. We don't know what it is. So what was written there? What was that note? Jim's last letter. See, what was it? Jim's last letter, received January 25, 1915. So what was that note, children? Jim's last letter received January 25, 1915. And one more thing was there. To be buried with me when the time comes. This should be buried. This letter should be buried along with me when the time comes. I knew as I did that it was wrong of me to open the box. It is not at all a good thing to open others' letter and read. But out of curiosity, when I heard those words, I was curious to know who has sent the letter. So I just opened it out of curiosity. Inside the box, there was an envelope. The address read, Mrs. Jim McPherson. See the address, Mrs. Jim McPherson, 12 Copper Beaches, Bridport, Dorset. Once more read. So what was the note? Jim's last letter received January 25, 1915. So the address of the envelope was Mrs. Jim McPherson and the 12 Copper Beaches and so on and so. I took out the letter and unfolded it to read. It was written in pencil and dated at the top December 26, 1914. So what did you understand from this, children? A man called Jim has written a letter to his wife, Mrs. Jim McPherson. He wrote the letter on December 26, 1914, and his wife has received the letter on January 25, 1915. And what was written on that paper? To be buried. Jim's last letter received January 25, 1915, and to be buried with me. Jim's last letter. That is very important because we don't know what has happened to Jim. So to know more about that, we have to wait for the next class. So the first part of that lesson is over. I hope, children, that you have enjoyed the lesson. So your valuable suggestions are always welcome. So thank you, children, for listening to me. Bye.